it appears that there is absolutely no limit to the greatness of Nikola Jokic.
He's the best passer I've ever seen.
Precision pass by Nikola Jokic.
The guy that strikes fear in the heart of everybody from the executives to the coaches to the ball boys is Nikola Jokic.
Over the last 3 games following the All-Star break, Nikola Jokic has recorded these 3 stat lines. I could have just given you the averages, but I don't think the averages do justice the ability to put up 25, 15, and 15 in back-to-back-to-back games. And the most recent game against the Warriors was just something else, making play after play after play. Just look at the big plays he made down the stretch of the game. On this first play, he runs the pick and roll with Reggie. He gets the ball in the middle of the floor with all eyes on him. So what does he do? He goes around Draymond Green before then slipping the layup underneath his outstretched arm for the bucket. People talk about Jokic like he's this big, slow, unathletic ogre, but I can tell you there aren't very many big men who have that level of balance and coordination to go around a defender like Draymond and finish in such an unorthodox way. But of course he can still do big man things as well, like on this play where this time Murray finds him in the middle of the floor, and he just bullies his way closer to the basket before absorbing the contact and putting it in. And the worst part of it all, just when you think you've played perfect defense, forcing a non-Murray, non-Jokic shot with Porter Jr. taking a contested step-back jumper, guess who's there to tip the miss in like it's nothing? And oh yeah, of course it wouldn't be a Jokic game without a beautiful lob disguised as a shot to Aaron Gordon.
Double teamed. Murray, the lob, and out of the dunker spot. Aaron Gordon.
But if you want any indication of how truly special this performance was, this is what Draymond Green had to say about it following the match.
Joker 32-16 and 16 gave me complete hell tonight, and I had absolutely no answers. I mean, he was brilliant.
That's one of the greatest defenders ever, just flat out acknowledging he was no match for Jokic. And there's no shame in that, because we are yet to see a single defender or defensive system figure out Nikola Jokic. We just saw him dominate 4 consecutive rounds of the NBA playoffs against the tall timber in Minnesota, the supposed Jokic stopper in Phoenix, yes, Anthony Davis in LA, and Bam Adebayo. And no matter who was defending him, the result was the same every single time. And this is why the Nuggets remain the championship favorites, even in a season where the Celtics have so much talent amongst the other teams in the Western Conference. Nikola Jokic and their entire offense just remains seemingly inevitable.
Clock ticks, gotta put one up. Jokic for the win. Oh!
Let's not forget that in last year's playoffs, they went 16-4. Since the playoffs format changed in 1985, the only teams to match or exceed that record are all considered some of the greatest teams in NBA history. People need to understand that's the kind of company this Nuggets team put themselves amongst after last year, and I don't know how that changes when you watch them play games like that. It definitely doesn't change when Nikola Jokic can have games like he did against the Wizards, where he put up 21, 19, and 15 on 100% shooting. And some of the passes he made were just ridiculous. Like on this play where Kuzma misses the shot, Jokic volleyballs the ball from his left hand to his right hand, and in one motion slings a perfect full court pass. It's one thing to throw a pass full court, which other people can do, but no one can do it quite like Nikola Jokic, and that's what people don't realize with his passing. I've seen delusional fans compare Giannis and Embiid's passing to Jokic. They don't understand that Jokic consistently puts the ball in spots that only his teammates can reach. He can also do things like this, where Gordon slips the screen and Jokic goes around the back to get Gordon free for the dunk. He didn't just do that to be fancy, but that was the best way of making that pass. He's gotten so great that multiple all-time greats have called him the greatest passer ever in recent weeks. However, before we talk about that, let's thank the sponsor of today's video, Sleeper. All-Star break is over, and you know what that means. Playoffs are just around the corner, and with seeding so tight, every team is going to be fighting tooth and nail for that playoff seeding, and Sleeper gives you an opportunity to join in on the action with their daily fantasy sports, whereas a first-time depositor, you can receive an instant 100% deposit match up to $500 using promo code 6man, and your parlay could look something like this. You kick things off by going over on Jaylen Brown's 0.5 points because no explanation needed. I'm then going to load up on Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga to go over those assist numbers against a hapless Washington defense, and I also like the over on Chet given his recent scoring form and Houston's below average form. So get the ball rolling with Sleeper, and when you use code 6man at sign up, you get an instant deposit match up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. As I was just saying, in just the last few days, multiple NBA legends have said Nikola Jokic is the greatest passer they've ever seen. Chauncey Billups was one of them, another was Rick Adelman. And I want you guys to understand that Rick Adelman was involved in the NBA from 1968 until 2014. And the best passer he has ever seen wasn't Magic, it wasn't Bird, it wasn't Oscar. It's Nikola Jokic. And can you blame him for that? Because all the things that separate a big man and a point guard, like pushing the pace in transition, running pick and rolls, hitting corner shooters on the move. Jokic can do all of those things, but in addition to that, he can also drop dimes out of the post, make an infinite amount of reads as a screener out of pick and rolls, and then of course, he can just do things that no one else can do because of his size.
5 on the shot clock, they double team him late. Cross court, Gordon for the lead. Got it! AG!
But amongst the offensive brilliance, the recent game against Golden State was a reminder that Nikola Jokic isn't a guy you can target on defense anymore. Steve Kerr said it himself.
Such a dominant force in every way. He's so smart defensively at 4 steals, anticipated a couple of passes that he stole.
Just look at his 4 steals versus the Warriors. On this first play, Klay comes off the Dre screen. And pause here, Klay is presented with 2 options, to shoot or to hit Draymond in the pocket. Jokic ever so slightly fakes out Klay like he's going to guard the shot before then dropping back and intercepting the pass. Or on this play where Steph and Dre run their high pick and roll. Again, Jokic knows that GP2 is waiting in the dunker spot, but to throw Draymond off, he stunts at him before then dropping back and forcing the turnover. But he wasn't done there, because another play, another turnover forced. This time Kuminga tries to force the pass into a cutting Quinones, and Jokic is always going to be ready for a pass like that. And in typical Jokic fashion, he had to save the best of his 4 steals for last, because with the game only separated by 5 points, Steph gives the ball up to Draymond, and once TJD goes to set the screen on KCP, Jokic immediately knows what is about to happen. So he picks off the pass to Steph, and this is just funny, as he glides down the court, fakes the lob, before then looking like he's about to shoot a floater, and then eventually lobbing it to Najee for the slam. On a court full of some of the greatest athletes on earth, Jokic was able to blow up numerous offensive possessions simply because of his mind. Well, not just his mind. If there is one part of Nikola's game that doesn't get enough credit, it's his endurance.
He is in incredible shape, man. Y'all should have saw this man running the floor, and he was just going, man. It wasn't like he got tired, like he was just going and going.
Draymond Green is the most recent player to find that out, but DeAndre Ayton has said the same thing, and so did Chauncey Billups, who said this. I say this all the time, and people, think I'm kinda crazy, but I think he's in the top 4 or 5 guys of being in the best shape in the league. It's funny, because he doesn't look the part, but the way he plays, he kinda has to hold the team and carry the team. He's guarding every pick and roll all game, and then he has to carry the load on offense. And he never misses basketball games. It's remarkable. Yeah, Chauncey's exactly right. It makes no sense that someone his size can touch the ball on every single offensive possession and then defend at a high level on every single defensive possession, yet never show any signs of fatigue. In fact, he's the guy that looks in the most control of games in the last 5 minutes, whilst everyone else appears to be faltering.